Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another Peak Auto Solutions YouTube video. In this video, we'll be going over a 2020 Mercedes GLE 350 that we recently completed. The client wanted to get their vehicle ceramic coated as it is a brand new vehicle. It had about 3,500 kilometers on the odometer. As you can see, the vehicle is absolutely filthy. They haven't gotten it detailed ever since they purchased the vehicle a couple months ago, and they made the right decision to get it protected before the winter months really started coming down. So we'll be applying our Ceramic Pro 5-year package, also called the silver package, to this vehicle. We'll be giving a commentary, also showing you the ins and outs of what we do, how it works, and just kind of getting an overall view of what to expect from us. So as mentioned before, the vehicle is very dirty, so we started off with cleaning the wheels, cleaning the barrels, the spokes, getting really into all the nooks and crannies of the wheels, the calipers, and getting that part done before we start working on the body. So for the wheels, we are using a Chemical Guys Blue Series wheel cleaner. We really like this wheel cleaner for a couple of reasons. The main thing is it's really soft on painted surfaces, gloss black, aftermarket wheels, chrome wheels, things along those lines, just to make sure it preserves the gloss black of these OEM factory wheels. Now, our other team member has gone around spraying iron remover on the paint. That is to remove paint contaminants, and that's why you see the purpling effect on the lower parts of the vehicle. Because it is pretty new, there isn't too much contaminants, but again, for not being washed for about 2 months or so, it did add up. After the chemical decontamination, we made sure to give it a thorough pressure wash with our 2800 psi gas pressure washer, attacking the cracks and crevices as well as the fabric wheel wells. Since fabric wheel wells are very difficult to clean, making sure those get cleaned up with the pressure from the water is crucial. And also at the same time, since this is a new vehicle to our client, we are also working on another one of their other vehicles in the background. So if you do see us kind of going off camera for quite a while, that's because we were trying to go between two vehicles. Coming back to the GLE though, we just foamed the vehicle, so we do a foam wash for all of our exterior details and paint preps. This is just to ensure that before we come in with our agitation wash, there is some form of lubrication on the surface, as well as some of the dirt is already being lifted and kind of dragged down to the bottom of the vehicle. We do use a set of wash mitts to get the vehicle done, as different parts of the vehicles do get a different amount of dirt over time. We also pressure wash the door jambs in order to get them properly cleaned out. Again, since we are pressure washing close to the interior, minimal water does get into the interior, but is wipeable right after we are done, so there's no concern there. Once we rinse off the foam, the vehicle is now clean and ready to be clay barred. For our clay bar and our physical decontamination, we use a synthetic clay sponge, as it just has more uses compared to a clay bar. Also, if you drop it on the ground, you don't have to throw it away like how you would with the clay bar. You could just give it a nice rinse, make sure there's no contaminants on the synthetic portion of the clay, and you can continue on. As you can see, we are now clay barring the vehicle, or synthetic claying. So this is just ensuring that there's no particles or contaminants or iron spots left on the paint before we start coating it. If we were to coat over these contaminants, depending on the contaminant itself, you can usually visually see it, but also feel is a really big thing. But when applying a ceramic coating or before polishing, we want to ensure that all contaminants are off the paint surface before we move on. So once we're done that, we make sure the paint is now nice and smooth now, and we're going to go forward with a blow dry. Reason why we go with a blow dry is just to ensure that any water that is in the cracks and crevices end up getting blown out, because if water is still there, it will drip over time, and if it drips onto a ceramic that we are applying or it's curing, that will mess up the bonding process and therefore will not perform as well because of the water introduced early on. After getting the interior and the exterior cleaned up, the interior was minimal work as it is a new vehicle. Besides the weather mats and a good vacuum, a wipe down was needed, as well as cleaning up the windows. After the wash, we made sure that the door jambs were all cleaned. Here you can see some shots of the interior. The interior looks absolutely fantastic with the ambient lighting and the big screen. Mercedes has definitely killed it with their interiors, and this definitely shows their craftsmanship and especially the work that they do on their vehicles. Moving on, we got this vehicle in the garage as we want to make sure we coat outside of the elements. So now we are doing a solvent prep wipe to make sure that any remaining contaminants, grease, dirt, whatever is completely off the surface before we start applying our ceramic coating. On this one wheel, we did notice a small patch of adhesive or something that just didn't come off during our wheel cleaning process, so we clay barred that portion of the wheel. And then once we finished, we did notice that the clay bar actually left some micro marring, some micro scratches on that one spoke, so we went ahead and gave it a quick hand polish, making sure it all looks good. We checked it out, looked good. We furthermore solvent prepped that one area because we did introduce polish to the surface. And then after, now you can see we are now applying the Ceramic Pro wheel and caliper coating. Ceramic Pro is one of the largest ceramic protection companies in the world. They offer many different products for automotive, aviation, marine applications, house applications as well. For this vehicle, we will be only using a certain portion of them. So the biggest thing about Ceramic Pro's wheel and caliper is it's designed for high heat applications. Depending on the wheel, there's a slightly different application process for that. But for this wheel, we applied it, and after 30 seconds to a minute, we were able to buff off each individual spoke and nook and cranny to ensure that everything was buffed off, and now the wheel was done completely. So Ceramic Pro is one of the more difficult ceramics to apply. There is a training and certification process involved with that, so not just anyone can be an installer. So we did go to a 2-day training in order to apply this product and do this service. With the wheels all done, we did apply the nano primer to the surface of the paint. That was just to ensure that the 9H and the top coat was going to bond properly to the paint surface. Before that, we wanted to make sure that the engine bay was all cleaned up. The engine bay was not dirty at all. It needed a quick wipe, so we made sure we did that before we started applying the actual ceramic coating. To complete this vehicle and the silver package, we did use a few of the Ceramic Pro products. One of them being Ceramic Pro Glass, that's meant for any glass surfaces. We moved on to applying Ceramic Pro 9H and Ceramic Pro Top Coat. These products kind of go hand in hand because as 9H is the durability and the strength portion of the coating, Top Coat is more meant for shine, hydrophobic effects, self-cleaning properties, and things along those lines. Now you can see that we are applying Ceramic Pro's top coat, and after the top coat is applied, the Ceramic Pro package is basically done. Before we leave the client, however, we do a couple things. We do a final inspection of the vehicle to make sure there is no leftover residue, any high spots, things along those lines that will lead to the client coming back and taking more time out of their day to get something fixed. So final buffs, final checks, everything is good to go. We hand the keys back to the client as well as their warranty info. We also go over the do's and don'ts and how to maintain this vehicle and its new ceramic coating. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Since this was one of our very first commentary based videos, there were quite a bit of mistakes that I have made, but hopefully as time goes on, I correct these mistakes. But thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.